Good morning, Carrie from the Schmidt house. I'm gonna have a short video today on a little project I'm doing here at the house, or finishing it up actually. Something I started, heck, like everything else, probably over a year ago. Just never quite finished up. It's gonna be a real short video, but real exciting video with a crazy finish to it. You're not gonna want to miss this. You really need to watch this video through to the end to see what happens at the end. It's crazy. Anyway, let's get started, and I'll kind of tell you what I'm doing here. So this is the girls' room, and probably a year ago, their closet doors, they had these old just sliding closet doors in there, and they were kind of falling apart. My finger out of the way. They were kind of falling apart, so I went and got these little folding doors, and I had to build the opening a little bigger and kind of frame it out so these things would fit up there, and they just slide back and forth and really work great. But as you can see, I never finished trimming it out, and I just keep forgetting about it. And yesterday I asked Andrea if there's anything she wanted me to do this week, and she said, well, I would really like for you to finish trimming the girls' room closet out. And I'm like, oh yeah, something I just keep forgetting to do. It's a simple project, but anyway, I want to trim it out, kind of like this door is. You know what this? It's got this little trim piece. I need to put on there to cover up this ugly stuff, and we'll cover these nail holes, and we'll caulk it. I'll have to cut this little trim back here a little bit. And there on the bottom, on the floor, the baseboard has to be cut back because the trim should go all the way to the floor, just like this door does. We'll get it nailed up there, cut and nailed up there, caulk everything in, and then paint it. And should go easy. So I've got this little piece of scrap trim that I'm going to hold up here and mark that little trim piece so I know where to cut it off. I'm going to do the same thing down here, and I'm going to cut those off, and I'm not coordinated enough to do that while I hold the camera, so I'm going to have to do that off the camera, and then I'll bring you back and let you see what I've done. Okay, I cut this little piece just using a utility knife, and that'll butt right up against there, and that will leave enough of a, you want to leave a little bit of a reveal down here, what they call that. This looks nicer. And I'm a little off up there, but you can fix a lot with caulking. I'm not a professional. So I went ahead, just took the baseboards off on each side, and kind of marked, they're marked where they need to be cut. It's easier just to take them off, take them outside and cut them. Almost impossible to cut them while they're on the wall. These wooden ones. Now you can get some of those, are that cheap stuff at Lowe's made out of foam, like some kind of foam board. You can cut that with a razor knife, but this needs to be cut with a miter saw. And I went ahead and measured everything out. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut all my trim all at once, bring it all in, and hopefully I didn't make any mistakes. We'll see. So we found a problem. This is a trim that I had bought like I say, probably a year ago. I only need 3 pieces, and I'm sure I got all this from the same bin at Lowe's, but I didn't look carefully enough, and it's all mixed up. It's different. These 2 right here are one size. Then this is an oddball, this one here. It's the same width as these, but it's just different. It's a little different. These 2 here are more like this one. They're more like this one here, but they're not as wide. They're narrower. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to use these 3. I'm going to use these 2 for the upright, and put this over the top and just see how it comes together when I cut these angles. And if it looks too terrible, I'll have to go to Lowe's and find another one like this. What a nightmare. Something supposed to be easy. It's very frustrating. You know, when you go to these stores, people grab stuff out of the bins. They decide they don't want them and they stick them back wherever. Then you get an idiot like me that comes in there and just thinking everything's supposed to be right and doesn't check it. And that's what happens. Anyway, we're going to continue on, see what it looks like. Well, it's all cut and tacked up, nailed up. You can see there's a little gap. It's not perfect, but those are 2 totally different pieces of trim. You really can't tell. Little gap behind them there, but that'll all fill up with caulk. I'll caulk everything. You know, back behind here, I'll run a bead through there, and then just take your finger, or you can take a damp cloth, just run it down there, smooth it up. Same thing up here. This one over here is a little better. There's a little gap there though, but like I say, caulk will fill that in. You'll never know it. Fill it all in. These little boards are dirty. They need to be cleaned up and caulked and painted, and that'll be it. But it's pretty simple. Just a few tools. People can do this stuff themselves. Say, I'm no carpenter, but we're talking about a 50-year-old mobile home that we live in here that probably wasn't designed to last more than 20 years. And I can tell you that trim work there is much, much better than what it came with originally. And your average person walking in here, once it's painted, would never even notice that those are two different boards there. So if you got anything out of this, or even if you didn't, just takes you a second to hit the subscribe button, like it, or if you see something I did wrong or something I could have made it easier, and comment on it. Let me know. You'll have a good one. Bye.